Got to be good to myself, 'cause I'm only human.
Hey everybody, just gonna give a minute for everyone to get settled, enjoy the music.
I hold to the rhythm of song, 'cause it keeps me moving. Got to be good to myself, 'cause I'm only human. 'Cause I'm only, 'cause I'm only human. 'Cause I'm only human. Don't wait for the warning signs. The fear makes you feel alive. Got all that you need inside, so feed it and treat it right. Don't wait for the warning signs. The fear makes you feel alive. Got all that.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Good? Well, welcome, beautiful souls. I am so excited to welcome you all to the 3 keys to activate your self-confidence, self-worth, and inner healing masterclass. If you don't know me, my name is Megan Allen, and it's an honor to be here with each of you and to be your host and guide for this next hour and a half. I'd love to hear where you're all tuning in from, so let me know in the chat. Texas in the house, Napa, Michigan, Steamboat Springs, Colorado, LA, Rochester, New York, Portland, Oregon, East Bay, California. I'm tuning in as well from California in the East Bay. Hi, Karen. Well, welcome everybody. Really Nevada City in the house, holding it down. I love that we are across the country. So you can see too, you have community that's all around you and available to access online, where we can create online ceremonies and sacred space so that we can support one another and heal and grow and tap into ourselves. So thank you all so much for that. So today we're going to explore keys and practices that are an integral part of building your confidence and self-worth and to activate your inner healing. And as we arrive in the present moment, I'd love for us to ground in with a few cleansing breaths. So I'm going to invite you to close down the eyes and begin to connect with your breath, mana, the breath of life. Let's start with an audible exhale out through the mouth and releasing anything no longer serving. Ah. Nice breath in and hold at the top. And release. Ah. And hold empty. On the next exhale, I'm going to invite you to really just breathe it out and even shake and make some noise. So nice breath in and hold. And release. Ah. Let's do that 2 more times. Ah. Feel free to roll the shoulders back, unclench the jaw. One more time in and hold. And release. And then breathe any which way. And I'm going to invite you to welcome yourself forward. And if you're in a space where you can turn on your camera, I invite you to do so. Again, this is a sacred space. It's nice to see people, so I know I'm not just presenting to a black hole. And if you're not available to turn on your camera, no worries. That's okay. Great to see you all. So I'd love to share a little bit of my story. Today I'm living in flow and in tune with my inner nature, and I feel grounded and at home in my body, and I find comfort and peace in this present moment. People have been asking me how I'm so confident and free to be myself, but I want to share with you it wasn't always this way. I was a very active child and played sports every season and took 5 dance classes a week. And I loved being out and about and keeping my body moving, spending time with my friends and staying fit. And then in my 20s, I was working with Johnson and Johnson, doing outside sales for Aveeno, calling on dermatologists, first in the East Bay and then in Chicago. And I'd get shipments actually of 4,000 pounds of samples and full-size products to my locker each quarter. And then I would load up my van and then unload and schlep the products to offices in my territory. It was kind of like felt like a UPS worker in a suit. And all this heavy lifting really compounded and created like wear and tear on my body. And I found myself with bulging discs all the way from my cervical spine and my neck down to my lumbar and through my tailbone. And so I suffered from chronic pain for most of my 20s and 30s. And I was so uncomfortable in my body. I was constantly cracking my neck and back and moving every which way just to get comfortable with little luck. And then when I was 28 and I was living in Chicago, Dr. Shepard, which totally reminded me of like the one in Grey's Anatomy, was a neurologist at Northwestern and sat me down and he looked at my MRI results and said, Megan, you have a spine of an elderly person and it's not going to change that much. And he could give me pain medicine to manage the pain and symptoms, but that was about all. And, I took that for years and I felt really defeated, deflated, and depressed. And it was like he had given me a life sentence. And so I tried everything to escape the prison of my body, numbing, distraction, and trying aggressive treatments like dry needling, deep tissue massage, trigger point therapy, and a really intense TMJ treatment, and even a couple cortisone injections in my neck. And I just wanted the pain to go away. I don't know, can anyone relate to kind of feeling like uncomfortable in your body? Yeah, I see some nods. So yeah, so no, you're not alone. I've been there and I still experience this time to time, but generally feeling so much better. And I was really depressed. So that kind of physical pain started to lead to mental pain. And there's plenty of days where I could barely get out of bed. And I just wanted to crawl under my covers and stay there till the next day. And then I became sick and tired of being sick and tired. I knew deep down that there was no magic pill that was going to cure me and no doctor or key that could really heal me from the outside. And so I wanted to really go on a journey to get to the root of the pain and the dis-ease, right? We can separate the word disease into dis-ease. And so I could unwind the pain and trauma to heal. And I went on a mission to explore more holistic ways of healing my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies in order to heal myself. And I began to explore more gentle ways of healing, like Reiki and hypnotherapy, craniosacral, and power tapping, that my body responded to much better than these earlier aggressive treatments. And then it was Eva, my sacred Reiki master teacher, that said to me one session, she's like, it's like Dr. Shepard had cursed me. And then I went on to learn from my shamanic teacher that we cast words with our spells. We cast spells with our words. So, they call it spelling. So think about that. Think about, our cells are always listening. So what are you telling yourself? What are you speaking into your inner garden? And we can always change this at any moment. So, right, it's about pattern interrupting. It's about catching ourselves. We're saying, okay, I'm in a negative spiral. And so to start thinking positive thoughts. I actually remember my dad used to say, it's like a 5-to-1. So for every negative thing we think about someone else or ourselves, think of five positive things. And I had a dream that if I could figure out how to heal myself, that I could use those tools and techniques to facilitate healing for others. So I'm really clear that I never call myself personally a healer because you are actually the one that heals yourself. I can hold space, other practitioners can hold space for you, but you're the one that really heals yourself. So I want to empower you with that. And then in 14, I was working in SF for a large event marketing company, sitting behind a computer, staring at the concrete walls and floors. And for me, it kind of felt like a jail. And one day I was in my manager's office for a meeting, and she looked at me and said, "Megan, you're miserable and you have a dream of opening a wellness center, so go do that." And sometimes, the universe gives us experiences and places and people in our lives to steer us in a different direction so that we can get back on our life path. And a week later, I took a huge leap of faith and I left my full-time corporate job and security blanket in order to fulfill my dream. So I started learning massage and went to National Holistic Institute in Emeryville, where I got to study anatomy and energy and Eastern and Western techniques. And for me, I really fell in love with Chinese medicine and the Eastern holistic approach to healing and well-being. And as I learned these techniques and applied them to myself, miracles started to happen. In this safe learning environment and feeling more safe and secure in my body, my nervous system was able to unwind and regulate. And the knots began to loosen in my fascia, and I started to have less pain. And after that, I studied Reiki and completed my level 1 and 2 and master trainings, and went on to study medical Reiki to be able to support people in the operating room during surgery. And today, I'm here to share 3 of those keys that have activated my inner healing and guided me to sovereignty and wholeness and changed my life. So let's all take a deep breath before we dive into the keys. So one more nice breath in and hold. And release. Beautiful. So, Western medicine focuses on treating the symptoms of a condition, looking at a specific body part, right? Often labeling with a diagnosis, and then we're given a pill, followed by another pill to counteract the side effects of the first pill. So I don't know if any of you can relate, but I sure can. And I know a lot of my family and friends can also relate. I was actually visiting my stepdad a few weeks ago, and I looked on his bedside table and I was like, wow, that's a lot of medication because he's been having chronic pain and, nerve stuff. And so I've really found in myself and working with clients and mentoring family and friends that we really want to get to that root issue, right? We want to kind of move away from just treating the symptoms because there's something deep within us that is actually causing the root. So to think about and ask yourself even, when did these symptoms start? When did my pain start? When did my addiction start? Right? So start to uncover, you guys. You are the master, the detective. So start to think because you know yourself the best. So giving yourself that time to maybe journal or think on a walk outside, coming back to yourself. And so then Eastern medicine has more of a holistic approach to healing. So focusing on the mental, the emotional, the physical, energetic, and even spiritual aspects of the person, and really aims to get at the root of the discomfort, the dis-ease. Because dis-ease in our body over time can become disease. So ideally, we want to stop that dis-ease and create more harmony and balance before it ever manifests into a problem that sometimes, unfortunately, can be irreversible. But the good news is also we're healing all the time, right? So think about maybe you accidentally, you're chopping vegetables and you cut your finger. And then what do? Right? We wash it, we put some hydrogen peroxide or rubbing alcohol in it, put some ointment. Maybe we do that for a few days and then we start to look down and we're like, oh my God, it's gone. So know that your cells are always repairing ourselves. You're always repairing and you always have a chance each and every moment to say, okay, I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do something a little different to create an environment in my mind, in my body, in my energy, in my soul to heal. And a holistic approach to really focuses on the whole person, the mind, the body, the soul. And know that these aspects do not exist in isolation. They work synergistically. And when we give ourselves those optimal conditions to heal, you can heal yourself. And so really remember, no one does the healing for you. No one holds that magic pill that can do it for you. You all hold the key to heal yourself. And I'm going to say that again, just to really ingrain it. So no one does the healing for you. No one really has that magical solve all pill. And you hold the key to healing yourself. So think about that. In a sense, it can be overwhelming, but it's also a relief. We're used to maybe seeking outside of the self, but to know there's a saying that for all the answers we seek outside of ourselves, we hold the answers within. So let's dive into the keys. When we look at activating our confidence and our self-worth, one of the tools we can use is the chakra system of the body to help us guide, to help us see, okay, maybe here's a symptom in one of my chakras, and this might be where I can access the root of the disease, the disease. So chakra, the word comes from Sanskrit, meaning wheel. And the chakras are actually spinning energy centers in your body through which your energy flows. And they're directly linked to mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual attributes and well-being. And each chakra has a location from the root that's by your pubic bone all the way up to the crown and is associated with a color, an element, a musical note, a mantra, your organs. There's also essential oils that are good to support you with each, and crystals that are there to support you with each, as well as affirmations. And our chakras are constantly in flux and can be imbalanced by becoming either underactive or overactive. And then our body as a whole becomes a little bit imbalanced, often leading to that dis-ease and or emotional blocks, which can interrupt our internal environment and harmony. And so just to name them at this point, but we've got our root that sits at our pelvic bone, the earth element. This is our sense of security and safety and stability. Then moving up a couple inches, our sacral chakra, below the belly button. The color is orange. The element is water. And this is a home of our sensuality, our sexuality, our creativity. And we can move up a little further into our solar plexus above the belly button. This is the fire element. The color is yellow. This is where we get self-confidence, where we have our will to become and to grow. It's also the home of our digestion. So thinking about if you're digesting your food, if you're giving yourself the proper slow down and pace to digest, and also actually to think about, are you digesting life? Are you digesting life's experiences and letting that travel down, either with clearing the energy or traveling down through the intestines and through and excreting that, right? And even sending it to Mother Earth mindfully. Mother Earth is our home. She is us. We are her. She also can be the great composter. So, we can ask her to please mindfully, I'm sending you this energy and please compost this into a new. And then you can see with that red, orange, yellow, it's like we are lighting a fire that comes then into the heart. To Anahata, the color is green, green for growth and pink for self-love. This is our home of forgiveness, of love, of compassion, forgiving others and forgiving thyself. And then coming up into the throat, Vishuddha, the color is blue. Speaking your heart's truth with integrity, meaning what you say and saying what you mean. We want to keep that pathway open too from the wise heart and through ajna, which is your third eye. And this is your deep-seated intuition. The color's indigo. This helps us to see forward, to envision. And also thinking of these chakras as kind of camera focal lenses. And so maybe there's times when you actually energetically and intentionally with your mind want to turn those down, right? Maybe when you're in a big ball game or a club or a big social setting or business, whatever it is, you might want to turn that down. Maybe you don't want to kind of see so forward, or pick up other people's energies. So we can kind of close it down energetically, mentally. And then coming up through the crown, this is the colors violet. You can also think of it as clear light. And this is our connection to the divine, to creator, to the all outside of ourselves. So whatever you believe in, right? It doesn't have to do with religion, even really spirituality. It's just connecting that, connecting to all that is, to that infinite soul, to that infinite energy that we are, right? Because energy can never be destroyed. So it just keeps going into other forms. I invite you too, if you're tired or sluggish or going into a business meeting or whatever it may be, to think, okay, I'm opening my crown to the eternal light. I'm calling that energy in through my crown, in through my chakras. Another practice I really like to do is actually to sun gaze with my eyes closed, but to feel that sun filling every pore and cell in my being and healing. I also lately, well, in the past like year or two, I've started to open my mouth to the sun, kind of in like a, it doesn't look pretty, but who cares really, right? And just opening that mouth and seeing again the sun coming down into the throat, clearing your heart, clearing your intestines. You know, I once heard that too, a lot of us can develop intestinal issues because think about it too, we're never showing our tummy rarely to the sun. So too, if you have, you know, the sunlight is free. We've also been conditioned a bit to that, like to fear sunlight, you know, to put sunscreen on, to lather ourselves, to protect ourselves. But a little bit of sunlight each day is good. So I invite you, if it feels good, if it feels in resonance, to start doing a bit of sun gazing with the eyes closed, clearing the third eye. Also, sunlight can help decalcify the pineal gland, which sits in the center of your brain. And begin to, you know, it's really a personal journey of coming back to wholeness, of building our self-confidence, of building our self-worth. And it's okay to have setbacks along the way. So I encourage you, invite you to be patient with yourself, to stay committed to your personal growth, and to keep working on your self-confidence over time. And also embrace your uniqueness. So recognize that your individuality is what makes you special. Focus on your strengths and your talents, and don't compare yourself to others as much as possible. I once heard this comedian and speaker share her life story, and she said, she wrote CC on the board as kind of one of her keys. And she said, comparison kills creativity. So comparison kills creativity. Oh, thank you, Sasha. You love the sun. Yes, sister. Keep loving that sun, honestly. Sun and water, my loves. Our water is another very important element. As all the elements are important, but drink plenty of water to help assist to flush everything through your system. And also, we can begin to also bless our waters, to speak affirmations into your water, because we are about 70% water, much like the ocean covers about 70% of the ocean. And much like the moon controls the tides of the ocean, the moon also controls our inner tides. So think about that. We get our moon, or our periods, our cycles, about every 28 days. The moon cycle is in about every 28 days. So see that macro, micro all around us, and that we are the elements are us. Our brains are even mostly comprised of water. So let's even just take a minute, if you have, or a few seconds, but if you have some water, I'm going to invite you to speak affirmations into your water. And then know that those water molecules are holding those prayers, those intentions, and then drink the water. And you can even have a sip now, have a sip later, but know that those are infused. So right where we were touching on tending to our inner garden. So this is practice. So I'm going to be quiet for, for a few seconds, and I just invite you to say some affirmations into your water, into this sacred element that's going to infuse your sacred waterways. Incredible. And I was starting to think about the other day, I was driving, I was thinking, about self-confidence and self-worth. And it really all stems from self-love. So loving thyself, seeking love from yourself first. The more we cultivate self-love, the more we can attract love from others, from friends, from lovers, from loved ones. And that for me has been a really big journey. I came into this world being adopted. I never felt lovable. People's words of affirmation did very little to me. And, I started to realize, well, if I'm so lovable, I am love. And Melanie, I saw that you are requesting to record, and just know that I am recording the whole thing. So I'm actually just going to deny your request because know that this whole thing is being recorded and I'm going to send it out after this masterclass. So no worries that you missed some of the beginning, and I will for sure send that out after the class. But thank you for asking. So self-love, tending to thyself, loving thyself, tending to your inner sacred garden, knowing what you need. And that's a self-discovery. That's an ongoing process. So you're going to need different things in different times, whether that's physical nourishment, sunlight, water, deep breaths, gratitude practice. And also clearing the mind, clearing and balancing your energy. And then finally, celebrating your successes. So taking time. We're so used to what's next. When I was full-time in the event industry, I was really finding that you plan for months and then you have this epic event and there's hiccups along the way and you get back on, and that's part of the excitement. And then after, sometimes we have a debrief, ideally, and sometimes we don't, and we just move on to the next event. So think about that in your life, that where are you perhaps doing that and giving yourself permission to celebrate your successes? So acknowledging and celebrating your achievements, no matter how small you may think they are. And keeping a success journal can help you track your progress and boost your self-esteem. So our first key is about shifting our mindset. According to neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza, we have between 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And 90% of these are the same thoughts that you had the day before. And the same thoughts lead to the same choices. And the same choices lead to the same behaviors, which create the same experiences. So when you can change your thoughts, you change your behaviors, and you change your life. And shifting your mindset involves changing the way you think about your pain, about your self-esteem, about your self-worth, about your self-love, about maybe your job. And this shift can involve focusing on aspects of your life, such as hobbies and social connections and other activities that bring you joy. And what brings you joy does not necessarily bring everyone else joy. So really tuning in, again, you hold the key to the answers within. So what brings you joy? And it can also involve practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques to help you manage your pain and stress. And by shifting your mindset, you can gain a sense of control over your pain, improve your overall well-being, and it can also help you to feel more empowered and able to cope with the challenges of living, really, right? So here's a few ways to effectively shift your mindset. The first is to reframe your thoughts. Reframing your thoughts involves changing the way you think about a situation. Instead of focusing on the negative aspects, try to find positive aspects or opportunities for growth. For example, instead of thinking, oh, my pain will never go away, try thinking, I'm learning to manage my pain and improve my quality of life. So again, speaking those words to yourselves that are always listening. And the second is to seek support. So chronic pain can be isolating. So it's important to seek support from others who understand what you're going through. And one of the reasons I love leading group programs is to connect my clients in a supportive community of women that can be globally. It's one of the many benefits of technology. I'm all about getting together in person, but as we can see on this call, we're all over the place. We're in different time zones. And a lot of people are working from home now, so we can start to feel really isolated. And isolation can lead to depression. So beginning to see where you can be a little bit more in community if you in fact are feeling isolated. And so know that we can know and feel that we're not alone when we're in more of a wolf pack. I don't know, can anyone relate to being a lone wolf a lot of their life? A little bit. Am I a lone wolf? No. I'm sure we feel it time to time, right? And our third is to really focus on this, and this key. Our third is to focus on gratitude. So practicing gratitude involves focusing on the things you're thankful for in your life. And this can help shift your focus from the negative aspects to the positive aspects of your life. And you can practice gratitude by writing down things that you're thankful for each day, or by taking some time to reflect on the good things in your life. And this simple practice has actually completely changed my life. When I hit rock bottom in 2019, my mom gifted me a gratitude journal, and I spent 5 minutes a day writing in my journal, 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. And some days it was more difficult than others. And then I began to more get my stream of gratitude flowing. And so again, we can begin big or small. It doesn't have to be 5 minutes. You can just write one thing you're grateful for or say one thing aloud. And the importance is to build a consistent practice. So we're going to do just a quick practice of gratitude journaling. So I invite you to look at your notes or your paper. And we're going to take 2 minutes. Well, we're going to take 1 minute actually, just based on time, to write down 5 things that you're grateful for. And again, these can be as small or big as they are. And you're perfect. Honestly, you are perfect as you are. So I'm just going to put on a little music and I'm going to invite you to gratitude journal.
Walk in the woods with my thoughts, trying to lose them. Talk to the trees, common ground, time never knew them. Forest and whittling down all that I'm doing. Got to be good to myself, 'cause I'm only human. 'Cause I'm only human. 'Cause I'm only human. 'Cause I'm only.
Take about 20 more seconds. Done. Ollie says, perfect. I'd love to hear one thing you're grateful for in the chat. And if you want to pick this practice up later at any time of day. Day, night, middle of the day, middle of the night. My health, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Your body appreciates that. Being healthy enough to dance, Michelle says. Yes. You and this gathering. Thank you, Sasha. Grateful for you, love. Dance, self-expression. My relationship with my friends. Yes, Christian. The beauty of nature, especially right now with autumn colors. Ooh, yes, Jenna. Grateful for those shifts in the seasons as we begin to tune in and sync ourselves to the seasons of the earth and the cycles of the moon. Sasha, the universe. Oh, yes. What a miracle this life is in the universe that we are spinning through. Holly says, friends who love me unconditionally. Reminds me, my friend this weekend kept repeating, she's like, keep saying, I am not too much for the right people. I am not too much for the right people. So finding your tribe, your energy attracts your tribe. Vanessa, my resilience. Amen, sister. And Jane says, art. And I'm grateful to know you and that you are so artistic. Karen, my home and the walls and people within it. The importance of community, of family, of friends. These are all so beautiful, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for your bravery to share that. And as we see too, when we share in community, right? A lot of you I saw started hearting and thumbing fingers up towards what others said. So you can start to know too, you are not alone. And you are surrounded and you are held by community. Beautiful. So learning to be kind and to forgive yourself, understand that we make those mistakes, we have setbacks, and treat yourself with the same compassion as you would offer to a friend in a similar situation. Beginning to learn to forgive others, to forgive ourselves. A quick story is the night before my brother's wedding, we were celebrating with my brother, and I came into the room rallying everyone, let's have a good time. We're celebrating his last night before his wedding. And my cousin's boyfriend at the time told me I was being too loud and that everything wasn't all about me, which I never had that thought that it was all about me, but that was what was projected onto me. And I got really upset and offended. And, he apologized and blamed it on his French temper. He kind of like exploded and then blamed it on his French temper. And unfortunately, for years, I took this as a knife to my heart and I dimmed my light so low out of fear of outshining anyone, and that I began to really suffer inside. It's like, how far can I shrink? And I could have held on to this, but he and my cousin fell in love and ended up getting married. Now they have two beautiful children, and I'm very close with her husband and with her and with my little niece and nephew, and I just absolutely adore them. So, right, I was able to forgive. I was able to forgive him, and I was also actually in a deeper way able to forgive myself for holding on to that, for taking his words and casting spells on me that I realized I had the ability to undo. And so I know that holding on to this hurt and blaming him was only hurting me. And so I really realized, right, that it was an inside job, and began to take personal responsibility and clearing my side of the road, right? Talking to him about it. When we get into conflict with someone or even in a disagreement, part of coming back to sovereignty and wholeness, loves, is to clear our side of the road, to have a clearing conversation, to say, this is where I take responsibility. And then it's up to the other person. Maybe they might apologize. Maybe they might take responsibility for their part in it at the time. And guess what? They might never do it. But knowing that as you're clearing your side of the road, you are calling back your energy. You are coming back to being empowered. You're coming back to sovereignty and wholeness. which says something. Sasha, you're so sweet. I remember that's the first thing I loved about you. First day we met, you came by and rallied everyone to go have a good time. Thank you. The light within me honors the light within you. And for me, I've found honestly, the older I've gotten, I'm now 42, the older I've gotten, that the more I play, the more I have fun, the easier life is, the more I'm able to flow with the river of life. And don't get me wrong, I'm not always happy, I'm not always joyful, I'm not always playful, but it's that like inner trickster energy in me, you know? Careful too, that trickster energy, you can trick yourself. So play the games on yourself. But yes, thank you. I'll never forget that, Sasha. Us meeting at Meditation Mountain. I think I was back in 2016. So it's been a long journey, sister. So our second key is to clear your energy. Clearing our energy is important when we have pain, when we're feeling dis-ease, because it can help alleviate some of these symptoms associated with pain. We also can learn to feel safe at home in our bodies when our mind is clear, when our energy is clear, when we're rooted into our bodies, when we feel grounded and connected and rooted into the earth, rooted into our taproot and sovereignty and wholeness, that then when we connect with the wood wide web where all the trees and plants and fungi communicate from around the world, we know that we're also part of the collective, right? We're sovereign and whole, and then also part of the collective. It's like where I was saying, like, I am you, you are me, right? I'm a reflection of you. You're a reflection of me. And society tells us and feeds us subliminal messages and signals of why we shouldn't feel comfortable in our own bodies. You know, from hearing commercials, watching commercials, from, you know, why we should feel maybe we're overweight or underweight, why we should feel shameful. Fad diets are very important, or very, sorry, not important, very prevalent. I've been hearing a lot of people, and I'm not judging anyone if anyone's on it, but a lot of people are on Ozempic and this other one that's out there, which is a diabetes drug, but a lot of people are beginning to use it just for weight loss because they're looking for that pill. And I have one of my best friends in my entire life that I've known for 20 years who's been on it for the last year and decided it was giving her severe crippling anxiety. And yes, she was having weight loss, but she was also having crippling anxiety. And she ended up having mental breakdown recently and ending up hospitalized in a lockdown facility for a few days. And so I'm not saying that's definitely what's going to happen. If you're on it, please be careful and please go under your doctor's guidance. But that's just an example of sometimes people can hear the messaging, want to jump on the bandwagon of this fourth level of collective consciousness before really being rooted and grounded into your body, into your chakras, and say, huh, what is my wise heart telling me about this given situation? What is my third eye telling me about this situation? And only you, again, know what's right for you. I saw someone come in the chat, so let me just check. Oh, what kind of a pill? You know, it can be any kind of a pill that someone prescribes to you or that you decide to take. And there is, of course, it's the balance, right? We all have this balance of access to Western medicine. That's great. And access to Eastern medicine, more of a holistic approach. Making sure with whatever you're taking, you read the side effects. You know, you read the possible interactions, because also herbal medicine can have interactions, consequences. And just know, you know, for every kind of action, there's a reaction. So I'm not going to go into specific, right, like pills one can take, but I hope that gave an example. Did that answer your question? A little bit, hopefully. Yeah. So also, well, short too. I mean, also like things can be fast acting and then it's hard. In the example of weight loss, I've heard a doctor say, you know, losing a half a pound to a pound a week is something more sustainable. And for me, I've gone through bouts of fluctuation in weight, and I've always done weight loss naturally, meaning just more focused on loving myself and going on more walks or runs and eating healthy. So that's just an example of how maybe we can say, okay, it's tempting to take the magic pill and the carrot, but or that thing to follow, but to more eat a carrot, right? To more uh be nutritional to yourself, tend to that inner garden. That's amazing. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Just curious. Good. So we answered the question and thank you. Yeah. And so it's just that balance. Western medicine's great for surgery. It's great for things that need to happen, for emergencies. And for me, I believe that I've found that more holistic approach is more sustainable. And knowing, loves, that again, that work is done inside. Your body's a sacred temple. We actually, through the vagus nerve, have more signals and thoughts that travel from your heart, your wise heart, believe it or not, to your brain than your brain down to your heart. So keeping that channel open, keeping your chakras open. And clearing our energy can help us to release, can help us to connect to your body, can help you relax. During my Reiki sessions, I love guiding my clients into a deep meditative state so that they can relax, they can release stress, they can ground, and they can receive the energy for clearing, for releasing whatever is needed. So let's take a nice breath there, a nice breath in through the nose and out and in and out and in and out. So some of you know or can hopefully tell by now that this is my life's work. I love supporting and empowering women to break free from the cycles and holistically heal from the inside out in order to take back their life, reclaim their power, and create a life of ease and flow, where we're flowing with the river of life, we're flowing downstream. And I'm really excited to invite you, this is a personal invitation, into my upcoming Sacred Alchemy program that begins Tuesday, November 5th. This is going to be actually my second time leading this, my second year leading this, happens in the fall. And this is going to be a 7-week experiential journey to self-love, empowerment, and sovereignty. And this program is a compilation of my life with the tools and techniques in my medicine bag, those invisible tools that have helped me over the last 10 years to heal, to transmute my biggest roots of pain and trauma, and transmute that through the sacred fire into my greatest teachers and allies. And have also helped me to come into my confidence, my radiance, my self-worth, my sovereignty, in order to become the most aligned and alive version of myself. So just going to touch a bit on the high level of the program. And I have a special offer too I want to share. So in this space, we're going to journey up through the chakras week by week, tending to our inner garden in a deep and nourishing way, clearing out stagnant energy, healing what's called to be tended to, activating our voices and power, and getting to know ourselves on a deeper level, all while being held and supported by an incredible group of soul-aligned women. And so this program's for you if you're ready to dive deeper into yourself, if you want to learn how to tap into your chakra energy system in order to optimize your health and well-being, if you're ready to shed the layers of you that no longer serve so that you can be the most authentic version of yourself, much like the snake sheds their skin every 28 days, so do we. So continuing to shed those layers, learning how to slow down and return to your center so you can respond as opposed to react, reconnecting with that wise heart, your deep-seated intuition and sacred body temple so you feel empowered from the inside out, and learning to speak your truth so that you're living your life in full expression and integrity, to transmute your pain and trauma into your greatest teachers and allies, and to call all parts of yourself back home so you can feel more centered, more energized, more aligned, more free. And develop and strengthen your boundaries, both spoken boundaries and also even those invisible boundaries, to help you avoid burnout and exhaustion, and to help you build trust and healthy relationships by establishing clear communication, clear expectations, and limits. Come back into sovereignty and wholeness to reclaim that power, and to also sync with the seasons of the earth and the cycles of the moon. And so what you'll receive in this is 7-hour-and-a-half weekly live group mentor sessions. These are going to be from 5:30 to 7 Pacific time, beginning November 5th and going through December 17th. And these sessions are going to include teachings and techniques, a chakra system deep dive, guided meditations, rituals, animal medicine readings, energy healings, group discussions, and more. You also get all recordings of all sessions. So if you can't come live or you need to miss a week, know that you'll have access to these and can download them for access for life. You'll get handouts each week for all sessions and a one-on-one private energy healing activation session with me, as well as one downloadable chakra balancing meditation, weekly home play to integrate the practices and teaching of your life, an accountability ally for one-on-one support, and access to a private WhatsApp group for group coaching with me and community building and sharing. And so the program value of this is $13.50, and the Sacred Energy Exchange is full price is $777, or 3 payments of $259. And then we've got early bird pricing, which is good through October 25th, and that's for $597, so more than a couple hundred off, or 3 payments of $199. And then for you being here in this masterclass, if you're feeling this and this calling in your heart, when you say yes to yourself and you sign up in the next 48 hours, so through the end till really 11:59 on the 17th on Thursday, you're going to receive an additional $100 off, as well as a special Samhain new moon ceremony. It's going to be Tuesday, October 29th. So that brings it actually down to $497, or 3 payments of $167. And so if you'd like to learn more and explore if this program is right for you, I'd love to connect with you one-on-one. And so I've actually opened 15 spaces on my calendar over the next 48 hours for a free alchemy call. And, some of my favorite clients to work with are curious, they're open-minded. They want to, come to these immersive workshops. And so if you choose to take me up on this session and decide that it's not a fit for you to do more work together, no worries at all. We'll still be in this community together. And however, if you're ready to jumpstart your healing journey and to take back your power, your life, and become the most aligned version of yourself, be sure to grab your spot. And so these sessions are first come, first serve. So I'm just going to insert that into the chat. Again, if you feel aligned. Let me just get to the chat. I'll also be sharing this out with the replay. So that is the booking link for that. And you can also go ahead and just sign up directly with the payment plan, and all that's required is one deposit for the 1 month, or you can sign up in full. And I'll share that in the follow-up email. So I'm going to invite us to drop into a couple-minute meditation to help clear our energy. So closing down the eyes, I begin to invite you to connect with your breath. Mana, the breath of life. With each inhale, bringing in fresh energy and oxygen. And with each exhale, releasing anything no longer serving. In and hold, and release and hold empty. And in and hold, and release and hold empty. And on the next exhale, I invite you to bring your energy and intention down to your feet. Picturing some nice supportive roots coming from the bottoms of your feet, rooting down through the floor below, down through the top few layers of soil, connecting with the wood wide web where the trees and plants communicate from around the world, sending signals of their environment, sharing nutrients, sharing messages, and rooting further down deep into the earth and connecting with the Schumann resonance, connecting with the heartbeat of Mother Earth. Feeling that support from other Mother Earth below, support from ancestors from behind, support side by side from your friends, and a clear path to do whatever you wish. Beautiful. And on your next breath, I invite you to bring up that fresh rooted Mother Earth energy up through your roots, up through the bottoms of your feet, up through your legs, and into your root of your spine. Clearing that root chakra, picturing red emanating, clearing, cleansing your root. Feeling grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. And coming up a couple inches into this sacral chakra, the color is orange, the crystal is carnelian, bringing that orange light, cleansing and clearing this energy center out through your aura, 6 feet in all directions. And coming up into the solar plexus, color is yellow, and use the citrine crystal, feeling that, seeing that emanating light, filling this energy center, cleansing and clearing and healing, extending out into your aura. And then coming up into the heart center, anahata, color is green. We can have some pink rose quartz for love, cleansing and clearing that wise heart, softening the heart, forgiving thyself, forgiving others, picturing that green, filling, cleansing, and clearing, expanding, seeing your heart as vibrant and whole and complete and loving. And coming up into the throat, Vishuddha, like a clear waterfall. Clear water color is blue. Blue lapis, extending, clearing, cleansing, aligning your thyroid, the butterfly gland that sits in the front of your throat, balancing your throat chakra, speaking your heart's truth. Beautiful. Coming up through the third eye, ajna, the color is indigo, an amethyst crystal, cleansing and clearing in all directions, cleansing any worry, any doubt, knowing that you are connected and rooted to your deepest intuition. And coming up through the crown, the eternal light, the color is violet. Receiving this golden light from the universe down through the crown, down through the third eye, down through the throat, down through the heart, down through the solar plexus, down through the sacral, down through the root. And then mixing that rooted earthly energy with that celestial energy, like a cauldron of whatever you need. And then bringing that one last time up through the roots, up through the sacral, up through the solar plexus, up through the heart, through the throat, through the third eye, through the crown, back down through the heart. And I invite you to do a little message harvesting before we open our eyes. So asking yourself, heart, what message do you have for me in this moment? Placing your hands on your body, what message do you have for me in this moment? Beautiful. And then coming up through the crown, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your soul, your higher self. Soul, what message do you have for me in this moment? Incredible. Thanking your soul, thanking your beautiful body, your sacred temple, thanking your wise heart, the first organ to develop in utero that knows your whole life story. Thank you, heart. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Thanking yourself for being here. And as you open your eyes, I invite you to just share briefly if you have anything. Just maybe let us know how you're feeling in the chat. Noticing any shifts in your body. It says relaxed. Amazing. I started yawning. Yes, love, listening to those symptoms of your body, of those messages of your body. Jane says supported. Incredible. You are supported. Indeed. Adelina, tired. Yes, totally normal. Okay, loves. Gain some clarity. Beautiful, Catherine. Amazing, amazing. Namaste, everyone. Philomena says, great to see you. Great to be in community with you. She says, luminous orange light felt. Maybe your aura, maybe your chakras. Namaste, says Catherine. Ooh, Sasha, yes, the messages were clearer. So inviting you to take these, my hypnotherapist, she's now across the Rainbow Bridge, Rose, a huge impact in my life and my healing journey. And we actually really bonded too, as she had given up a child for adoption and then she had adopted a child. So we really connected on that. She really helped me through reaching out, getting up the courage to find my birth mother. You know, I obsessed on at the time finding the perfect card, the perfect stationery, sent her pictures, sent her a beautiful letter. And you know what she did? She never responded. It wasn't until later I reached out to family during the pandemic and got very interesting reactions. You know, my aunt said, I'm an analyst with the FBI, return the account to its owner. And I was like, no, I'm actually your niece. So this is going well. And then she said later she didn't know about me and she reached out to not even my birth mother, but my birth mother's friend to realize indeed she had flown to San Diego and was staying at a friend's house. And I was born. So then she welcomed having a conversation with me. And gosh, this was now like 3 or 4 years ago or whatever. But she said that my birth mom wants nothing to do with me. So that's still something I'm certainly learning to forgive, to, of course, continue to be grateful for that I wouldn't have been here with you all in community, feeling this love emanating from the screen if I wasn't born, if she hadn't decided to hide her pregnancy from her family, from this big Irish Catholic family. So how brave that was to hide her pregnancy from her family, fly to San Diego so that I could be born, so that I could live this grateful life. So it's a lot of transmuting, a lot of transforming. And I'm here to say it hasn't always been easy, but the more I have the strength, whether it's by myself or with community or with a mentor, to start to unlayer and unwind those things that aren't serving me, to lighten my load. You know, I find when I work with people energetically or in one-on-one in person, a lot of us are like this, and people are like, I don't know why my shoulders are so tight. It's like you don't have to wear your shoulders like earrings, just let it go. What are those rocks that you're carrying around? What are those burdens? What are those past hurts that you're carrying around? So asking yourself that, taking the time to understand yourself better. Sasha also said, yes. So Sasha said the messages were clearer. You know the little voice inside you. Yes, you do. And know that you're also a compilation of your baby self, of your childhood self, of your adolescent self, of yourself now. And this is going to continue, right? It's almost like the aura, the physical body, the spiritual body, the energetic body, the aura, the peri-spirit. In my shamanic sessions, I help to clear the peri-spirit, which is like coattails, dragging us, picking up stuff from other people, thoughts, events. And we can clear that peri-spirit so that we can free up our energy, clear our energy, so that we can feel more empowered, more at peace, more in flow. Philomena said, much healing light to your birth, mother. Oh, yes. Thank you. One thing too that my aunt said that made me feel neat, she said, I watch what you share on Facebook, and I wanted to tell you that your birth mother was also a Reiki master. So I was very tickled by that. I'm like, uh-huh, we're actually more alike than you think, Maura. Maura Quilter. I was actually born into this life. On my birth certificate, it says baby girl Quilter. So I didn't even have a name. Then I became Megan Gilchrist Allen. So here I am with that name. Baby girl Quilter still, though. Thank you for that. Thank you for that support. It means a lot. So, loves, let's get into our third and final key. And that is to regulate your nervous system, which we just did a bit of. We can regulate our nervous system through meditation, through breath work, through slowing down. And regulating your nervous system is important when you have chronic pain, when you have stress, when you feel sick, when you don't feel like going on, when you feel frustrated. So, following these signs of feeling unregulated, feeling dysregulated, most of us are actually walking around with dysregulated nervous systems most of the time. I almost want to say, I hate to say it, but not really. It's just acknowledging that. So, acknowledging when we get into what feels like anxiety, right, with maybe those symptoms of increased heat, sweat, heart palpitations, know that oftentimes if we're feeling depressed, we're living in the past. If we're feeling anxious, we're living in the future. We're future tripping. We're trying to solve all of life's problems in the future, which haven't even happened yet. And I was rereading the seven spiritual laws of success last year with Deepak Chopra, and he said, in life, we can make a plan and try to figure out how to get to that goal. But actually, the magic happens when you let go of the plan. The key is to live in the now. Yes, Asha, most definitely. So live in the now and try to catch yourself as you're, okay, these are symptoms. I'm depressed. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. Okay, these are, signs of anxiety. I'm talking faster. I'm feeling a heart flutter. I'm feeling nervous. And know that it's all part of it. It's all okay. You're okay. So you might be asking yourself, well, okay, that sounds great, Megan, but how do I freaking do that? How do I get back to the center moment? How do I get back to the now? Be here now. We do that through the breath, through the sacred breath of life. That's dolphin medicine, mana, the breath of life. So when we get to the throat chakra in our program, we're going to dive deep into dolphin medicine. We have an animal for each week. The animal kingdom, through my animal medicine cards, have actually taught me almost more about life than any human. They're very powerful teachers. And I love animals. Who doesn't love animals, right? So getting back to that breath, there's so many different breathing techniques. We've already done a couple. We can do so taking that breath in and then like you're blowing pursed lips through a straw. We can also do a 4-part breath. So we can breathe in for 4, box breathing, it's called, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale through 4, and hold for 4. So when our nervous system's unregulated, dysregulated, it's like our nervous system's been hijacked, and that can happen through stress, through trauma, just through life, right? Through being startled. And this is also leads to, right, when we don't have maybe proper digestion because our nervous system is so freaking hopped up, we can't digest properly, or we can't even think straight. There's different brain states, which we'll get into another time. But at just the high level, there's your survival brain state, your emotional brain state, and your executive brain state. So starting to identify where you are at a given moment, and also where someone else is in when you're in conversation. Because if someone is so in survival state, right? Like I can barely think, that you might hear with their words or their actions, know that, okay, I can either sit by this person and regulate myself and in turn help them regulate. I might invite them into some breath work, or I might just say, maybe now's not the right time to talk about the logistics of the executive brain state, to problem solve, to have that conversation about the future. So just knowing where you are in those brain states and knowing where the other person is. And that just takes practice. We can all do it. So by regulating our nervous system. Oh, thanks, Catherine. I'm so glad this is resonating. These are all free tools, by the way, that you can implement at any time in your life. So by regulating the nervous system, you engage your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the system of rest, digest, and heal. And this can help to break the cycles of chronic pain, of anxiety, of stress, of burnout, to begin to more feel at flow, feel at ease, and to improve the overall quality of your life. Some techniques such as relaxation exercises. So some techniques to do this are relaxation exercises, meditation, deep breathing, also going out into that sunlight, also doing breath work, doing some mind-body techniques, re-regulating that vagus nerve that we talked about, where there's actually more pathways and more signals sent from your wise heart through your throat, into your third eye, into your brain, than there are going on the reverse. So tapping into that wise heart. And knowing that your heart is always sending you signals as well. When is it beating faster? When is it slowed down? And so forth. And the first drummer that you ever heard? Can anyone guess? The first drummer? Anyone? Yep, you got it. Your mom's heart. Mama's heartbeat. Your beautiful mom was your first drummer you ever heard. So begin to also think about that, what that can lead to if your mom was dysregulated when you were in utero. What were you feeling? What were you sensing? What messages were you already developing? And the rhythm of the heartbeat connects you to all the drummers around the world. Let's see, too, you don't even need a physical drum to drum. You can drum with your heartbeat. And I love to drum. I love to drum on a djembe. I just got to do that this weekend. Joshua Tree Music Festival. Amazing. Okay, loves. So we're going to go into our last and final practice, which is going to be breath work. So like we talked about, breath work's an effective way to regulate the nervous system, to manage stress and anxiety, and to come back into the present moment, into the here and now. And there's several types of breath work, which I touched on earlier, and be mindful that some breaths, like the breath of fire, can be invigorating and actually speed up your nervous system. So like chest breathing, and like chest breathing, some are calming. So today, of course, not this time of day, we're going to practice a calming breath, also known as belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. And this involves breathing deeply into your lower dantian. So I'm going to walk us through this. So let's actually real quick, just stand up really quick and just to, get some movement into your legs. I'm going to give you a little bonus too, something I like to do to clear my energy. It's called it's called a qigong clearing. But essentially, I'm sorry, this angle is just awful, but who really cares? So I'm going to breathe in and I'm going to mindfully send the energy to Mother Earth. And I like to do that for every direction. Again, free technique, can do it anytime. Okay, so for those of you who did it, take a stock, see how you feel. For those of you who didn't, all good. Way to listen to yourselves and try that another time. Okay, so let's sit up straight as much as you can. We're in the home stretch of our time together. We'll finish in the next 10 minutes. Thank you for all being so present today. Means a lot. So I invite you to sit comfortably and place one hand on the heart and the other on your belly. And so as you inhale slowly through the nose, feel your belly rise, expanding. Feel your lower hand on your belly rising, expanding like a balloon, and hold for a few seconds. And then exhale slowly through the mouth, like you're blowing out of a straw, as you draw your belly towards your spine. I'm going to walk us through this for like a minute, and then I'm going to have you do it on your own. Okay, so belly in, or drawing the hand, excuse me, hand on the chest, hand on the lower belly. Invite you to close your eyes. You don't need to see anyone or me. And as you breathe in slowly through the nose, belly expands into your hand like a balloon. So in and exhaling out through your mouth, slowly drawing the belly towards your spine. And in through the nose, belly expands. Exhale out through the mouth, drawing back into the spine. And in and hold. And exhale. Okay, I'm going to invite you to do that for about a minute on your own. Beginning with the inhale, slowly, and blowing out through the straw. Beautiful. Really beautiful work, everybody. And when you're ready, gently bringing your eyes forward. Being cautious as things may have shifted in flight. And in the chat, whoever's up for it, I'd love to hear maybe a shift that you noticed in yourself. I'm drinking some more water. As we move energy, we want to mineralize, we want to flush things through our system. Vanessa says, feeling more centered and grounded in my body and less stressed. Let's take a moment to rub our hands and beam Vanessa with some love. And Vanessa, you just practice receiving. Incredible. And Sasha says, being in this moment and not thinking about what's next. Rubbing our hands together, beaming Sasha. Sasha practicing receiving, much easier for us to give than receive. Sister, receive. Incredible. And Jenna shares, feeling present and calm. Rubbing our hands together, beaming some extra presence and calmness for Jenna. Incredible. And lastly, Karen shares, this is so beautifully written, fewer hooks pulling me. So I love that visual, fewer hooks pulling her, fewer cords, we could also say, right? Something we'll go into in our program is cutting the cords. We can do that throughout the day. There's many cord cutting techniques, which I'll share later, but cutting those cords, those energetic cords, coming back to sovereignty and wholeness and self-love. So let's beam our hands, rubbing our hands together and beaming Karen. Lots of love to you, cutting those cords, removing those hooks. Oh, and thank you. Vanessa says, thank you everyone for beaming her that love, that support. And Philomena says, I love how you're always so poetic. May all of Mother's heartbeats, including Mother Earth and Goddess of Light, beat on with love and light throughout. Let's go ahead and beam Philomena for sharing that incredible prayer for all of us, for the great mother, Mama Gaia Pachamama. Let's spread love throughout our hearts, throughout our communities, to everyone in Appalachia, to everyone in Florida in the South, to everyone in the Middle East, to the Palestinians, to the Israelis. Let's get some extra love for peace on earth. May we begin, may everyone continue and begin for those of it's new, to believe that war is not the answer, to believe that we are all one people, one world, one heart. Let's go beam that. Feel your energy through the screen. Love that energy surpasses all time and space. So we are here in sacred ceremony. And for those who aren't here with us, we beam you with love. For those who are watching the recording, we beam you with love. May you feel our presence. Receiving as you're giving, everyone. taking that which you need, all that you need. There is abundance. There is abundance of resources. There is abundance of love. There is abundance of life. You don't need to live in scarcity mode anymore. Let it go. Abundance. You are held. You are cared for. The more I began to trust life and trust that my needs will be taken care of, the more I am taken care of. Okay? It's just retraining, reprogramming that mind. Incredible. Beautiful. And Vanessa sweetly said before she had to pop off, thank you so much, Megan. I've got to go a little bit early, but sending you a big hug and lots of gratitude. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Okay, beautiful loves. So we're just going to get off in just a couple minutes. I end at 7:02, 7:03, just because that's about when we started. So today we explored 3 keys and 3 pack practices to activate your self-worth, confidence, and inner healing. And in my 7-week program, we take a deeper dive into the full 7 keys and practices to activate this, to call yourself forward in self-love and empowerment and in sovereignty and wholeness. And I'd just like to open up the floor for a couple shares. Feel free to raise your hand or just unmute yourself, popcorn style. What was your biggest takeaway from today? Feel free to put it in the chat as well, if that feels better to you. Philomena says, thank you, Megan, and everyone for wonderful healing and blessings. Any blessings of peace, love, and joy to all, here and afar, or near and afar. Sasha says, thank you, Megan. You are so welcome.
Thank you very much, Megan. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. With a little
Okay. I feel I am too.
But
Drink a
thank
lot
you
of
very
water.
much. Yeah,
Healing
loads,
energy.
loads. Thank you very, very much. I remember that I had to see you today, but I was out, and then when I came in, it just so quickly went through my emails, and I said, "Oh my God, I think they're still on." Yeah, okay, Eastern Standard Time, they're still on. Okay, so I plugged in. It really, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It's a nice gift before my bedtime. So thank you all. Thank you, Megan.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Philomena.
All the
Thank
very
you.
best. Be well.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Catherine says, oh, thank you, Catherine. Catherine shares, I experienced sacred alchemy last year with Megan. Today was a reminder of how important and needed this therapy is. Thank you. Thank you. And you can all also read a bit more of Catherine's testimonial on the website, which I will share in the follow-up email. And Sasha says, remembering that we can heal ourselves. Yes, 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 you can. You hold the key to heal yourself. And you kind of took the words out of my mouth. I was going to end with, remember, no one does the healing for you. You hold the key to heal yourself. I also love what Sasha shared is be here now. Come back to that sacred breath. And we'll close out in just a minute. And just want to say I will stay on a few minutes after we close out to answer any questions you may have. And just again, I'm going to put the link to the chat if anyone wants to book a alchemy call. I've got 15 spaces for that. I'll also be sharing that out to all those who registered but couldn't be here live. And I've got time on my calendar tomorrow and Thursday. And then 2, just to, remember, I'll send out in the follow-up email as well. What did Reddy say, my dear? Let me just check. Sorry, close the chat. Oh, yeah. Remind you the book. Yeah, because it is 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. It's incredible. It's like a little book. I admit I'm more of an auditory learner than I am a book reader. I do like reading books here and there, but it's a nice read. So yeah, thank you for asking, Reddies. And just remember too that if Sacred Alchemy calls to you and you don't have any questions, but you want to join, I'll be sending those payment links as well in the follow-up email. I'm just going to put my email in the chat. So if for some reason you don't see an email from me tonight, or you didn't get the reminder emails, I might be in your spam, and no one wants to be lost and hidden in the spam. So feel free to add my email. It's Megan. I'm going to put it in the chat, and email me with any questions too. And my email signature, which you got earlier, is my cell phone number. Feel free to call. Call with any questions. So here's my email, Megan, MEGAN, at mindbodysoulwellness.com. So thank you all so much for being here for today, for saying yes to yourselves, most importantly, and for your presence, and for being on camera, those of you who could, and being here when if you weren't on camera. And also thanks to everyone who's going to tune into the replay. The light within me honors the light within you. And as we end, I'm just going to put on this new fabulous song, and we're going to move our bodies. And again, it's 4 after, and so we've been on for an hour and a half. And so if you need to go, that is 100% fine. And if you want to stay a few minutes after we dance to answer any questions, I'll do that. And if no one ends up, we'll just close out the call. Sound good? Beautiful. Jenna says, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and gifts with us this evening, Megan. Lots of love to everyone. Thank you, Jenna. Philomena, live, love, laugh, namaste. Sasha, thank you for sharing your journey and healing. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your intuition. Thank you for sharing your intuition and love with us all. You're welcome, Reddies. It's my absolute pleasure. We're all in this together, loves. Catherine says, thank you and have a pleasant evening. Okay, my loves, I'm just going to share my music one last time. It's actually a different song than earlier. Didn't hear it. Okay, loves, here we go. It's called Extraordinary Being.
Hey, you are what God imagined. You are a true perfection.
Feel free to dance if you want. Move your body. You got a lot of energy moving.
Mixed with a lot of magic. Look how the sky turns gold every time you're dancing. You deserve all the love. Why don't you let it in? Don't punish who you are for who once you have been. You got a heart of fire. It's gonna take you higher. Just let it flow. Look at your glow. You gotta know that you're an extraordinary being. Yes, you're an extraordinary being. See, your anatomy is made up of those before you. Gold is your history. You're standing upon their shoulders. See, you're a China, getting too high for cowards. Look how you're flying. Check out your superpowers. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve all the laughter. You are one of a kind. You deserve happy ever after. Oh, how the tides are changing. Feel how your heart is blazing. You gotta breathe. You gotta see. You gotta believe that you're an extraordinary being. Yes, you're an extraordinary being. That's right. Yes, you're an extraordinary being. Oh, you're an extraordinary being. It's not your fault that you're magic. Baby, hope you're fantastic. And just love like the
We'll do
ocean.
30 more seconds of this
Sing your
song.
song and be certain. If the world kicks
Really
you to
move it.
zero,
Listen to your body, what
spread
feels
your
good in
wings
this
like an
moment.
eagle. Raise your
Just do the last 30 seconds of the song.
No matter what you do, no matter what they say, no matter what they say. No matter what they say.
I'll put the link to that song too in case anyone wants it. Where did it go? Here we go. That is Extraordinary by Emily Sande. One of my soul sisters just shared that on her Instagram, and I always like to save those and then find them and then add them. So that's that song. Okay, my loves. Anyone else that is still with me, does anyone have any questions? And it's okay if not. No? Okay, loves. Well, it is my greatest honor to be here with each of you. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking the presence. It means a lot, more than you'll ever know, that you said yes to yourself, that you said yes to me, to being here. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Grateful to be in community with each and every one of you. Wishing you a beautiful, beautiful night and week ahead. And I will be in touch with you all, and I will send out the replay this evening. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love you. Love you. You are love. Much love.